later,
topic,
but
yeah.
for now, let's get to something else.
Yeah, we got some front office news, and it's brought to us by Gusto. Let's be real, guys. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in to take the stress out of your payroll, benefits, and HR so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is the all-in-one, remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNFL and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right, 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/LockedOn.com. One more time, that's gusto.com/LockedOnNFL. In terms of the front office news I just mentioned to ESPN Cleveland, actually it was Josina Anderson. We should give whoever
Who cares about
this
ESPN
point.
Cleveland?
Josina, I just saw the tweet from, but once again, Tagboard's not working because it's a joke of an organization. Josina Anderson.
What, ESPN Cleveland?
No, Tagboard, because.
No, ESPN Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Josina Anderson reported that the Browns are bringing in former general managers Chris Grier and Tom Telesco about adding senior voices to the organization. We know Paul DePodesta left earlier. We didn't know exactly what his role was. If you take this report at face value, senior voices could be in theory to fill the DePodesta role. Who knows? If you're unfamiliar with Chris Grier and Tom Telesco, Chris Grier was fired earlier this year as the Dolphins general manager. Tom Telesco last was the general manager of the Raiders in 2024. He lasted one season before getting fired, but has previously been the general manager of both the San Diego Chargers and then worked in the Colts front office when they were kind of putting together the Peyton Manning-led team. So, Bull, I know we texted about this yesterday, so I'll start with you.
Archibald Manning.
Are you buying the fact that the Browns would bring these guys in to be quote-unquote consultants as senior voices, or do you think there may be something bigger at
I mean,
play?
you could buy anything with the Browns. When you have the worst owner in sports, anything's possible.
Whoa.
Until proven otherwise, he's the worst owner in sports. He's been.
Whoa, he's been good to me.
Okay, good. Good for you. You know, that's
Good for
fine.
you.
He wasn't
You heard
good.
it, you
He
heard
wasn't good to all the trucking companies he ripped off, but that's okay.
I can't speak for them. I can only speak for my personal
allegedly.
experiences.
No, it's no alleged. They were found. The company was found guilty.
The company was.
Yeah.
But
He was the president of the company.
I can only
so.
speak for my personal
But anyway,
experiences.
Try to protect you, buddy.
having nothing to do with that, like, I don't know what he's going to do. I've said consistently that Andrew Berry continuing in his job is patently absurd. The Browns have a bad roster. Their two best players were not drafted by him. So, I mean, you know, the Browns, without Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, the Browns have 0 wins this year, probably.
Let me ask
and neither player was brought in by him.
You're out on AB, right? Like,
How could you not be?
I understand.
Yeah.
But, you know, what if they moved him up as far as just, like, the cap management?
Fine. I don't want to be the cap manager. I mean,
because I feel
the
like
Browns' cap is terrible.
Well, that's because of that bad deal. But outside of that, like he's been,
outside of that,
he's been playing with this cap.
No, he's not. He just has he's had an advantage that Jimmy lets him spend like a wild sailor when some of the other owners may not necessarily allow that to happen. But the cap's not in a good spot. He's the GM. If you want to make him the capologist, I don't care. I don't want him picking the players because overall, through 6 years, he's done a bad job picking players. But I don't think there's any debate there.
How many years do you have to do a job before you consider like somebody like experienced guy?
Well, there's a 10,000-hour rule where you have to be 10. No, there's a stat that says you do something 10,000 hours to become an expert.
Has it been
10,000 hours or 10,000 reps?
What GM that's done as bad a job as him has ever gotten 6 years or more? Has it ever happened?
Well, and here's the thing.
He does have 2 playoff appearances.
He does, but here's the thing.
He does?
I mean, the team does.
He has not drafted a quarterback. And that's the reason why this
As of now. Now, if Sanders becomes a legit starter, then maybe it's a different story, but it might be too late.
To be determined. But it's been 6 years.
Right. No quarterback.
And multiple number ones. They fumbled Deshaun Watson and went after him. The whole thing has been a disaster. Yes, this draft class, all these guys played well as rookies.
Yeah.
He also drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round.
Insane.
I mean, so it's like not the perfect draft class, but these guys they all played well as rookies. Who knows where they go from here? I mean, Judkins has a devastating injury he's got to come back from.
Yeah.
I think Schlesinger is going to be like
Schlesinger and
an
Fadden
all-pro every year.
Schlesinger and Fadden to me are good. Yeah, that's what's set there.
Real fast,
Yeah.
because it came to mind. Schlesinger is a war daddy.
Yeah,
For him
yeah.
to play through that injury, I actually thought they should have pulled him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said
Yeah.
it during
But
the
I like the guy's playing his
love
ass
the
off.
attitude,
I love
you
the
know?
attitude,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like I think they put him in some spots where he couldn't be a liability. Anyway, not to derail the whole conversation.
Couldn't get
Well,
to the
Dustin,
zone.
with adding
Yeah.
these two voices, whether it's Chris Grier, Telesco, do you
Yeah,
believe,
so-
or do you buy the fact that they might be quote unquote additional voices, or do you think they may be potential replacements?
Well, listen, there's a lot to unpack there because they could be potential replacements. We don't know. Those
Yeah.
guys have the experience. They've both
Right.
done it at the highest level, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I just feel like if they're bringing these guys in to be these extra voices, it's like, man, how many cooks we need in the kitchen?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think
it's
think
too
you
many
hire these
voices.
guys to be the GM.
I think it's
too
a
many
mistake.
voices.
I mean, if those guys are on the same page and you want those guys to be like your co-GM or whatever, great, I'm fine. But you can't have Barry with these guys.
Will you bring that up? What that man last?
Mike, I
name?
thought you said he was at the Chargers for 1 year.
What is
No,
Tom
Raiders
Telesco?
Raiders
the
for 1
Chargers
year.
forever.
Oh,
So,
the Raiders.
What's the
was
bottom
Chargers for a
thing
while.
on Tom Telesco's bio that you
It's
just
Carolina Scout, not Car Scout.
Oh,
Carolina
I
Scout.
was about to
Carolina
say.
Scout.
I was about to say.
Car Scout.
Carolina
Car
does not fit.
Scout.
No,
Car
Carolina
Scout.
does not fit.
So I think so. My take on this is how I read the thing is, Tyvis. I think you might be onto something. I think when you look at, the reporting came out with Ian Rappaport and said Andrew Berry is going to be highly involved. They probably have a new coaching staff. So you move on from DePodesta. Maybe Andrew Berry takes a new role in which he moves up to whatever chief strategy officer it is, taking over from DePodesta. And now you got these other two guys coming in. What this signifies to me more than anything is they're going more of a football guy approach. I think they swung really far with analytics. Didn't really work out for them. That's why DePodesta is not here. I think that the pendulum is swinging a little bit back down to a place where football guys have a little more voice in the room. I don't necessarily think these guys could be general or will be general managers. I just think that they'll have an
Why
approach.
couldn't they be general managers?
They could. They could.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that there's other positions, director of scouting, the way they go about evaluating players, the way they go about because overall the Cleveland Browns have had one model of the way that they wanted to go after players. And to be honest with yourself, that hasn't really worked, especially at the receiver position, his offensive line position. That hasn't worked. Whatever quarterback, that's yet to be seen.
They kept going after like the young guy. They wanted like it was a certain point where the roster's age was all like young, like under 25 or something.
Their philosophy. I think there's going to be a changing of philosophy, and I think they want football dudes that are your traditional scouting, meat and potatoes, go watch film. Yeah, like I'm gonna trust my eyes. Analytics is important, but I think that there is more of a mix going on here. Now, I don't know what Jimmy Haslam wants to do, but the assumption is, and we talked about it yesterday on the other show, is if you are Jimmy Haslam and you don't want to completely start over, you got 2 first-round draft picks. As a business owner, do I want to blow out my manager? Do I want to blow out the head chef? And do I want to blow out the chief financial officer all in one? And then I got to make decisions myself.
Yes. Why would I entrust 2 first-round picks to guys who have not done a good job drafting?
Because he feels like Andrew Berry is improving.
Well, you think he may feel that.
No, I'm just giving you the I'm not saying I'm giving you the reason why. You say, why would you not fire everybody? I'm giving you a reason why Jimmy Haslam might be like,
I think.
Listen,
you never know with Jimmy. To me, it's crazy if they don't start.
You were in radio, right? Y'all was in radio. Say, for instance, right? Y'all doing a show. You're breaking into a market. Y'all been in the market 5 years, right? You've been number 2 or number 3 somewhere in the market, right? But then you come up to this year and you get hot. You go from 3 to 1. Mm-hmm. You cooking. Like you go 3 to 1. You all the demos, advertisers is coming in. You sit up there with the program director and he like, all right, well look, y'all's ratings wasn't that hot 4 years ago, but you were like, but we the hottest right now. Like, we better
Strike
than
while
that.
the iron's hot.
And now you not only not gonna get fired, you're gonna come in and ask for some more money.
Damn right.
So, like, it's yeah, you can, yeah, you struggled before, but there is a thing about your recency. Them numbers that you got this week, they matter. And for Jimmy Haslam, he's sitting there now. We don't know how he feels about it because he hasn't spoken. But I said it yesterday. If he likes Shedeur Sanders, then if he likes and thinks he has the potential to be it, it's a wrap. Barry ain't going nowhere then.
I think it was last week where somebody asked, what is the percentage chances that they running back? Didn't you ask somebody that? It might have been Zach.
Yeah.
You might have asked Zach, like, where's the percentage that they running back? And he was like, he said it was like a slim number. What did he say, like 30% maybe?
Yeah, it was like 20 or 30%.
Just like me, he thinks it's insane.
Do you think that number has increased? Because I do. Like, I can see a world where everybody comes back. I can see it. I can see it.
All right, good. Then they'll win 3 games again next year.
I mean, they probably will, but I can
yeah.
see it, though.
And we'll make the same excuses.
I mean, Stefanski's not a bad coach, dude.
I'll say about Kevin Stefanski what I say about everybody else.
There's a bunch of good coaches, there are some terrible coaches, and everybody else is in the middle.
There's 5 great coaches. There's a couple of stinky coaches, and everybody else is in the middle based on the talent. That's what I believe. Doesn't mean it's true. That's what I believe, and I think Kevin Stefanski's in that group. I would fire him, but if you ask me feet to the fire, who's better at their job, Kevin Stefanski or Andrew Berry? To me, it's clearly Kevin Stefanski, but I'd still fire him too. I want everybody out.
I think that Stefanski, my opinion on it,
Yeah.
and I like Kevin, and I think Kevin's a good coach. I think Cleveland has beat him up and beat him down, and who he is now is not who he was as a coach, and I think he's defeated. I think
He probably wants to be
I
gone.
think the Cleveland Browns broke him.
He's aged a little bit.
I think that they
Mike Patton got broken by the Browns.
I think the Browns broke Kevin Stefanski,
I could see
and
that.
and
Yeah.
honestly, like, he probably needs to go somewhere else. Like, I think he'll be able to coach in this league again.
Maybe. I don't know. He'll certainly be a coordinator. He won't be. I don't think he'll be a head coach next year if he leaves, but maybe in 2 years.
Take a year.
I don't know. I honestly don't care. But
Yeah, I don't care either. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
he's a good coach. It's not. It's not going to work out here for him. And not now. He's broken.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
If you asked him the question, I think he would prefer to move on.
And I have no intimate details about this at all. But I think he's tired of dealing with all the nonsense.
let's see what Mary Kay has to say if she agrees with that.
We can ask Mary Kay. She'll join us